Many wonder, is the work of ministry for a privileged set of people? People that see angels at night, fire in the bush, encounters, voices, or is it for ordinary people like you and me? I dare to say it's for ordinary people just like me, an ordinary little girl, excited about Jesus, passionate about Jesus, consecrated to the will of God, and willing to follow and obey. My journey started right here in Obafemi Awolowo University, where I encountered Jesus. I encountered destiny. My destiny was one of those great destinies birthed right here on this land. Right here at the Cricket Pavilion was where an effectual global prayer ministry got started. And you need to understand my story. I got saved in 1994 August, and I had a problem. I couldn't pray. Also, I thought it was a big deal, and I gave up on prayer altogether until I got to Obafemi Awolowo University. And I met my pastor, I met my company. And right here at a vigil was where for the very first time I prayed for 1 hour. And this was where I made a vow and a pledge with God. And I said, first of all, Satan, if you try to stop me again, whatever you try to say I can't do, I will do twice of it. And I said to God, there is absolutely nothing you would have me do that I will not do. And since then, my prayer life went to a whole new level. Not knowing that today, the same girl that struggled with prayer and I made a vow to God right here at the Cricket Pavilion will be touching lives all over the world, raising praying women and praying men and awakening the nations with the power of God through prayer. Right here, it all began. It's amazing, almost unbelievable. About 30 years ago, and today, reality. Right here in the covered pavilion, I had countless encounters growing up as a new believer, learning, growing in ministry. And, I can literally count the number of hours, thousands and thousands. And, it was incredible. Encounters, raising people, being raised. I prayed here almost every single day, hours and hours. And here we are today. Those things that were just a dream, those things that were just so far away are beginning to take place. I was the first female pastor in the Obafemi Awolowo University ever in the history of this school. And you know what? If I could do it, then you can do it.
It was 1994 and I was a medical student at Obafemi Awolowo University and also a member of Victory Christian Fellowship, pastored by my pastor, Reverend Jisheson. Well, we used to call him Pastor K at that time. So I was an active member of the fellowship, and then my wife also joined. She used to be Dotun Adeniji in those days. She joined the fellowship. And before we knew it, she was all over the place, praying everywhere. We all got to know her, she was just this praying lady, just praying everywhere.
Starting ministry quite early, I think it was a blessing for me, I would say. When I got into school, I transferred from UniJOS to OAU, and I got into year 2. And year 3, end of year 3, I'd become the pastor of my fellowship. And about that time was when I just got saved. Before I just got to OAU in my part 2. And I remember God saying something. By the time I was done with my tenure in the final year, right, God told me something, and I felt like I'd not done a lot. I still had a lot to do. You know how you just feel like when you're done and you're not done. And I felt like there was still so much to do, so much to learn, so much impact I hadn't made. And the Holy Spirit said something very important. The Holy Spirit said to me, It's okay. I just wanted to show you what your life would be like outside of school. And that was the beginning of my journey, really.
I remember meeting Dotun then. I think it was like 1994 or 1995. I was in Mozambique Hall, and this new babe came in, and she was, I think she was there as, you know, as things were there, and everybody had a guest. You had your room, and then you had a guest. I think she was somebody's guest in the room, and I met her. I just remembered that she was bubbly, very fun person, and after a while, she started showing some curiosity towards our fellowship then, and yeah, she invited herself. She wanted to come and see what we're all about. And a few months after that, or even weeks, I think, a few weeks after that, I left the country. Imagine my surprise when the next time I would hear her voice was on one of the tapes my husband sent me. I heard this powerhouse on the tape, and I took her. It was like, oh my God, is that Dotun? She was completely different, even though it was a tape back then. I mean, this was many years ago, probably about 96 or 97. Even though it was just a tape, the power that came through that tape and the evidence of transformation.
And all through that time, I didn't really consider her as a potential partner or wife in the future. Yeah, there were other ladies in church that we were looking at that time, which is always the case with us guys, you know, we're always looking in the wrong direction. As time went by, I completed my schooling, my education in Obafemi University. And then my pastor said, let's go to Lagos and start a church. He was going to start a church in Lagos, and I said, you know what, let's do this, let's go to Lagos and start a church. So I came to Lagos, and then I left her in school, and then she also came to Lagos.
I came out of school, I got ordained properly with a white collar, and I always joke about it, or we always joke about it, that was the yoke that yoked my life up until now. I just couldn't get away from it. And my journey started, and you know, it was amazing. You know, I think one of the most important things that I would say in my life was the opportunity to have found my pastor on campus. You know, when you meet a man and you're going this way, and you meet a man and, you know, your life just swings to the other side. I didn't feel I had a need for any other thing. I didn't feel I was at a loss. I remember, you know, my family members saying, oh, you need to travel. And I didn't feel the need to travel anywhere, because I felt like, hey, I was in the center of God's plan. I was busy. You know, I was busy doing ministry. I had an assignment, and that was what my life was all about.
Slightly over 3 decades ago, I met a young lady. She was now over 19 years old, going to 20 then. She came in as a guest to our fellowship, Victory Christian Fellowship, then in Obafemi University, where I was pastoring. That was a few months before I graduated in the School of Pharmacy. And you know, it's surreal that it's been over 3 decades watching our development, our emergence, our becoming an apostolic voice.
I remember, you know, PV, my husband. I remember also at that point, I just came out of school, and I remember at that point, I felt like, oh, you know, I was going to get married to a GO. You know, a GO that was established in ministry, because based on my limited knowledge, I felt like, hey, I was called to ministry. Ministry was what I wanted to do. I discovered the purpose for my life. So what else am I supposed to do? Go with the flow, go with the purpose of my life. And, you know, I said to God, you know, I'm not materialistic. I'm not looking for a man that has everything. I'm just looking for a man that is in ministry, that has his ministry, and you know, and all of that. Not knowing that my husband was and he was not a deal, obviously.
All through that time, of course, I've been praying, trusting God for a relationship and all that. So by the time she came back, she came back and then came visiting where we were staying at that time, because I was staying with my pastor at that time as well. And then all of a sudden, I just knew she was the one. For the very first time, I just saw it.
One of my pastors said something. He said, God will not necessarily give you what you want, but he will give you what you need. That was like a blockbuster to me. And, I went to really fast and pray. And, I think there was just one wisdom God had given to me. I kind of knew that I was called to ministry. I knew that I was called to ministry. I knew that it was a strong call. I knew that ministry would define my life right from that point. So I told God, I said, God, I don't want a friend. Just show me who this person is and we'll work it out. And that was really what happened. I just knew it was my husband. I knew it was PV, and he knew, we knew, and we came together and we started the relationship. And it's really been a great blessing, I can say. It's been an amazing time. I think this year we're 24 years in marriage now, after 2 years of courtship, and I can really say that PV has been a great blessing to me, has been a great leverage for my ministry and for my life.
It's been an awesome journey with a very special person, an extraordinary person, someone who really is passionate about the things of God, raising people, doing the things of the kingdom together, and it's been a great journey. I never could have imagined that, she'll be the one, first of all, she'll be the one that I'll get married to at that time. And then they'll be doing life together, doing ministry together like this, like we are today. It's been a long journey. It's been an interesting one. It's been an adventure, really. She's just that kind of person that there's always something going on. There's always something she's thinking about. There's always a project, so to speak, that we're doing. But we're always doing it together. And it's been a great and exciting journey. I'm thankful to God for all of that. And we have, with all our children, both physical and spiritual, it's been a fruitful journey, and I'm thankful to God for all of that.
I was born into ministry. I remember hearing stories from RD, my mom, saying how immediately she dropped me, immediately she gave birth to me, she was inquired, or she was asked to start a church. Like, imagine being pregnant, you deliver the baby, and then you're asked to plant a church, and she went.
I remember when my pastor said, Dotun, you need to go plant a church. I was 6 months pregnant with my first son, and what pastor tells a newly married, not newly, like a year, but what pastor tells a woman getting pregnant for the first time, that you're gonna start a church as soon as you birth this child. I was 6 months pregnant. I had the baby. A month later, we started.
On numerous occasions, I've met people that were impacted by her. I remember an amazing lady in Nigeria doing a great work of the ministry years ago. I was trying to introduce myself to her, and he said, "No, sir, I know you." I was a youth corper, and when I came for your meeting at the inauguration of Dominion House, and that same lady is a vibrant fire, full of fire, full of vibrancy, impacting nations today. And several other people like that have come in contact with me and introduced themselves to me and say, "You are a grandfather." I'm like, "Ow, that's happened in England, that's happened in United States, and that's happened in Canada. If I won't still happened last year in Canada."
Over the years, I've just seen her just become this firebrand, become this catalyst, not just somebody with some fire, but somebody who causes others to catch fire around her. You can't be around her and not, be revived, not come back to life, not get some fire in your belly. And to see her impact all over the world, her impact in people, her impact in nations. The other day, I think a couple of years ago or a year ago, two people walked into our church for a special program, and then they said, after the program, they came, they were talking, the confidence that I perceived there. Two ladies, they were confident, and they were talking, and they were chatting with me, and then they said that we are from Dominion House. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I don't doubt that.
In 2008, it all began here. Our very first camp meeting, Western Women's Campus Leaders retreat, a 3-day camp meeting that changed the trajectory of the women's ministry. I remember things happen in this place that cannot be explained. And right here, many destinies, women that are shaking and changing the world, were raised right here at that camp meeting. And today, we're on a mission to raise 1 million women globally. Thousands of women have been raised all over the world, in every continent of the world. Who would have known that such an amazing movement, prayer movement, would have started right here in the main bowl of Obafemi Awolowo University, 2008.
Okay, our first major adventure in ministry, I would say, was Dominion House. Before then, we were at Kingsword with our pastor, leading. I was leading the music at that time. She was pastoring, a particular zone of the church. And then we felt led to go and start a new work, which we branched out to start in the year 2008. And then the church was a real adventure, lots of hours of prayer, fasting, 3-day fast, 7-day fast, and things like that. And then the church launched out, and it was really a great experience over the years, raising people, having leaders.
I remember when God began to lead us to, start Dominion House. It was an amazing, we were having the best times of our lives. We're at the point of, okay, put money together. Do we get a piece of land? Do we do this? And, it was like God said, okay, it's time to go to the next level. The transition took about a year, but it was amazing. And then we started the Dominion House, started praying, started doing all of those things. And God said, He said, I've called you to be an instrument of my peace and a tool of my revival, to stir up the awakening of my manifest presence in the nations of the earth. And He said, go raise me kingdom leaders, go raise me. Then we called it world-class leaders, and then we moved it to kingdom leaders. And, being in ministry all of this time, and being the kind of person I am, I just want to hear God and do. I just want to hear God and do. Raising that army, I wouldn't say it didn't come with a lot of challenges. You know how it is, laying the foundation for a great work, laying the foundation for a missional church. And we started. However, it was amazing. But you see, I think one of the greatest challenges that I've had to face on my journey of ministry is people. People have been the greatest blessing. They've also been the greatest challenge in my life and ministry. When you pour your heart out. I love people. I'm a people lover. I love people. I see potential in everybody I come in contact with. And God has given me that grace to be able to see the potential and to raise people.
There are lives that pass through time, and there are those that mark time. There are people who follow movements, and there are those who spark movement. Aaron is one of those people who spark a movement and who mark time. My journey of meeting RD started for me in 2012. I was a young 24-year-old girl. At that time, I was just about rounding off my NYSC. I was in the space of questioning a lot of things, questioning my own existence, questioning what the purpose of life was about. And I was unconscious of that questioning at the time, but I had a deep sense of dissatisfaction. I was like a young lady who was moving about with a missing piece, and there was nobody around me who could articulate it. I remember one of those nights I was on Facebook, and then I saw a flyer, Purpose and Passion. It was a pink and pretty flyer, and there were these faces of 3 ladies. I could never forget that picture. And then the instruction at the bottom of the flyer said, if you would like to attend the event, send a BBM to this particular BB pin. And that was the beginning of a new part of my life. I sent a message, lo and behold, it was RD. We started chatting. I can't remember many of the things she said, and then she asked me to see her. I remember walking to that office on a Tuesday morning, and the event was to happen on Saturday. I met her, I had a conversation. I attended the event on Saturday for the very first time in my life. Now, I didn't even know I was questioning my existence, but I was asking, so what's the purpose of work? What's the purpose of me living?
It cannot just be about, oh, so you get married, you have children, you build houses, you work a job. I mean, I kept on asking, and then what next? And I remember at that event, I saw the happiest bunch of women I'd ever met in my entire life. They were beautiful, they were on heels. Oh my God, I'm like, this bunch of Jesus lovers, I love them. At that time, I'd been in religious circles. I mean, it was either the hair tying one or the long skirts, or, just kind of very non-pleasant stuff. And I just kept on thinking, why would God be so restrictive and so unappealing? And then for the very first time, I was in a room of very happy women who were so beautiful on heels. I'm like, this kind of Jesus now I define. And then the conference went on and she spoke about purpose. And suddenly it was like all the void in my heart was filled up in just a couple of hours. In the announcement, I heard there was going to be church there the next Sunday. I mean, the next day, it was Saturday and then Sunday. And of course I was there. Now, I must take you back to the women's ministry. I remember in 2006, we went to pray, and then the Holy Spirit said, the prayer you're praying right now is not just for a program. It's the beginning of a movement of women that will change the world. And that began my journey. In 2008, we started we called it the God Leading Ladies Worldwide, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was on campuses. We had the inauguration. We had our first camp meeting, and along the line, it was great. We had paused, focused on church a bit, and then God said, go teach my women to pray. My women do not pray. Go teach them to pray. Go teach them purpose. Go lead them. And the Women Kingdom Banquet started. That was in 2015. Women Kingdom Banquet started. It's going to be 10 years now. And, what started with just a step of obedience, what started in the living room somewhere became a global movement. Today, we have thousands of women all around the world in every continent that has become or that have partaken of this grace. Women that are fervent, women that are awakening. Every day I receive messages. Thank you, changed my life. You've changed my life. You've changed my life. You've changed my life. I'm talking about women I've never met. From the Women Kingdom, International Men Kingdom Banquet, the Business Women Kingdom Network came out. That's for business women, Christian business women, and the Amazon Network for the professional women. Along the line, other things began to come out of my spirit. And we started the Leading Ladies Business Institute. We started the Men of Honor, started the Joshua Generation, for teenagers, started Little Arrows for Children. It's been such a privilege to be pastored, to be mentored, to be nurtured like a child, to be taught. I mean, she's taught me everything from ministry to business to personal development, everything you can imagine, personal style, like literally everything.
I ask myself all the time, how did I even get here? How in the world did I get here? I would never have been in ministry. I would never have been doing anything that I'm doing right now if I hadn't met Reverend Dotun. I'd probably just be a regular doctor, working in a hospital, maybe a consultant, having a regular life. But what I'm doing today is all as a result of the fact that I met her. I met my destiny catalyst in that woman. And I've lived a life of followership. I've just kept on following, And for me, it's the best that has ever happened to me. It changed the trajectory of my life completely. And I'm here today just because I followed a man.
Today, it's amazing how God has given us an entrance, a doorway into the youth ministry. I am super passionate about young people. I'm super passionate. It's my life. It's what I want to live for. It's what I want to do until I die. I just want to reach out to young people and give them a chance like my pastor did for me. Because if we're going to invade the world, if we're going to change the world, if we're going to do great things, it's going to be young people. We want to raise an awake generation out of a woke generation. We're tired of the agenda of the enemy amongst the youth. In 2020, we experienced an unprecedented move of God in the Dominion House, and we started calling ourselves the Fire Nation. We were the Fire Nation because we had become like a conglomerate of many arms of ministry: the men's ministry, the women's ministries, the teenage ministry, and we started the campus ministry called the Campus Invasion Movement. And that was, right in the heart of God for our generation. And, also I think we started the 24 hours prayer chain. That was crazy. And it's been about 5 years now. I think in just a few months, going to be 5 years since we've had, prayer going on for 24 hours, back to back, even right now, back to back, releasing God's presence, God's power into the atmosphere of the world. And it's been great, amazing, and all of that. We started the CIM, and we began to transit into a missional church. Now, we began to transit from the traditional church, which is about the services, we've always been a discipleship church, but we took it to a whole new level. It was like we replanted the church. It was like we started all over again, and we had to do that. And that one thing I tell people is I don't mind starting again, as long as it's in the will of God. And that was exactly what we did. Missions Internship Program. It's a school. It's like my dream come true. And here we are in the Missions Internship School. And we have about 52 young men and women out of school, graduated, and they have decided to give 1 year to God, to learn, to grow. It's a 360 degrees growth that prepares young people for the world, and prepares them to have a missional orientation to life, looking at the world from a missional perspective and not just a me perspective. It's been amazing. I believe that this is a revival. The Missions Internship Program or the Missions Internship School is a move of God. It's a revival. I'm looking at these young men and women, and I'm looking at this and I'm saying in the next 1 year or less, by the end of this year, we're going to be releasing kingdom arsenals into the world. We're going to be going into the world. We're going to be sending men all over the world. And what God has established here is a legacy. This is my legacy. This is what I live for the rest of my life. Raising men, sending men. Raising men, sending men.
Over the years, of course, we have evolved into a discipleship movement, training people now all over the world with churches and leaders, and eventually today, what we call the MIP, the Missions Internship Program, has been the culmination of all of the years of training and learning, making mistakes, raising people, reaching people, losing people, all kinds of experiences. I can tell you that it's been an awesome adventure, and I'm glad that we're doing it together. We've always done it together. It's always been such a pleasure working with my wife. Both of us sharing the same vision, the partnership, the joys, the high times, the low times, and with all the amazing people that God has also surrounded us. I would say I'm so thankful to God for the gift of my wife, for all that she has been to me. She has really inspired me, helped me in so many ways, being a great inspiration, a great support. And we just really do life together, and I'm thankful to God that we're where we are today. And we're looking forward to greater years ahead.
Doing life with RD is like doing life with a mother, doing life with a friend, doing life with a business partner, doing life with a pastor. It's everything and more. It's such a rich relationship. I tell her, I say, look, RD, don't worry. My generations and generations to come will serve this mandate, will serve this legacy. Because there's nothing bigger than I could have lived for if not this. If I didn't find RD, I would never have found purpose. I would never have known myself. I'll be a far cry from who I am today. She has put an indelible mark on my life, and not just on my life, on generations that will come after me. And I'm just so privileged and thankful to have met such a general, a woman who stands in a class of her own, an exceptional legacy herself. I love you, RD. Thank you.
You know, RD is such an amazing person. She's such an amazing mother. I've learned so much from her over the years, how she's trained me, how she's raised me. She's been an exemplary believer, not just a mother. She's been more than a mother to me. She's been a mentor, she's been a discipler, she's been a teacher. You know, she's been a mentor to me. Honestly speaking, I couldn't ask for a better mother than RD.
It's been 12 beautiful years, 12 wonderful years, 12 years of not regretting the decision I made 12 years ago, 12 years of fighting many battles, of fighting many battles together, of taking many territories together, of raising men together, of, you know, being being together through it all. It's just been 12 wonderful years, and you know, I'm looking forward to forever. You know the way they say it, forever to go. I celebrate you today. You're a mighty woman of valor. You know what trips me the most about you? The fact that you don't live your life for yourself. You've never done nothing for yourself. I mean, you could make the money and enjoy yourself and do whatever you wanted to do with your money or anything, but you have a heart that beats for the kingdom, and that is amazing. That is so amazing. And thank you for raising me. Thank you for making me. The Pastor Aya that I am today was made by you. I wouldn't be here if not for you. And I'm looking forward to forever. Many more years of followership, many more years of taking territories together, many more years of taking campuses, kingdoms, cities, many more years of making the 8-14 become a reality. I'm looking forward to the day that we finally finish this mission and we go to be with the Lord. I mean, it's going to be wonderful. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Mommy.
Reverend Dotun, on this beautiful day, when you are being celebrated on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of your birth, I want to say a happy birthday. It's a delight to know you. You are an inspiration. You encourage me. You inspire me. I am just so awed by the work that God has done in you and is doing through you, and the impact you are making, and your total commitment to the work of the gospel. You're a rare breed, and I wish you a happy, happy birthday. God bless you. Looking forward to many, many more years of serving God together. Love you. Happy birthday.
I'm so proud to know you, to be associated you. I'm so proud to be able to say I was involved in your discipling 30 years ago. I remember the day I walked you to Sports Center from Mozambique Hall. I said, let's pray together. Literally teaching you how to pray in tongues for a period of time. That was 1995 or 96, I'm not too sure, but close to 30 years. To see the woman of God you become, your impact, I want to say I'm proud. I can't be more proud than, I'm so proud. But I'm lost for words for a phenomenal firehouse, force you have become. I love you, and I want to celebrate you on this memorable celebration, 50 years of existence. So we've been doing this together for 30 years. See a woman of God that you have become. So I celebrate you from the depth of my heart. I wish I could be there physically to celebrate you, because you deserve all the celebration for your consistency, for your love for God and His people, for your commitment to mission. And I speak as a prophet of God that as you step into this new season, there will be greater impact, there will be clarity, there will be speed, and you will reach more people to the ends of the earth. I love you, my missionary daughter.
Joel chapter 2:28 says, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh. My sons and my daughters shall prophesy. My old men shall dream dreams, and my young men shall see visions. I believe that this is the time there's going to be a mighty move of God's Spirit. There's going to be a mighty revival, an unprecedented move of God's Spirit and God's power like the world has never seen it before. And that's why God is preparing His agents of change. God is preparing young people, training them and positioning them for this mighty move as we invade the world. Habakkuk 2:14 will come to pass. We believe with all of our heart. So I want to say, welcome to my world. and welcome to my legacy